Oh, look at that rich, nice soil. Perfect for a garden. Oh, hi. I didn't realize you guys were here, but nice to have you join me today on this gorgeous spring day. Today is the 15th day of April. We're right in the middle of National Poetry Month. And what a perfect day for some poems about gardening, spring, seeds. I've got some seeds here. I'm going to plant some seeds in my garden. My friend gave me these really interesting looking seeds. Aren't they beautiful? Very colorful. I can't wait to see what they grow into. And once again, I'm reading from Doug Florian's collection of spring poems called Handsprings. And maybe if this is your first time listening, you won't mind if I read some more of these because you haven't heard them. I've almost read every poem in the book now, but it's just they're so perfect for this time of year. So I hope you don't mind. My first poem I'm going to share with you is called Sometimes Spring, and I don't know how well you can see this, but this looks like something called a daisy chain. So you can take little flowers and you can tie the stems together and make a chain, and then you can wear it as a necklace. Wouldn't that be fun to do? But this is called Sometimes Spring, and I thought this was a good one. It represents a bit like what we've been experiencing. I mean, last Friday it was cold and raining and blustery, and I heard we're supposed to get that kind of weather again on Friday. So that's why I came out today, to take advantage of the sun and the warmth. So see what you think of Sometimes Spring. Sometimes sun and sometimes rain. Spring is one big daisy chain. Sometimes warm, like right now, and sometimes chilly, like 10 minutes ago. Spring is silly, daffodilly. And yes, it is daffodilly. It's the time of year for daffodils and tulips, although my daffodils are starting to fade. The tulips still look pretty good. We have some grape hyacinths growing. The rhododendron look pretty bad, but something new will be up soon. And that's why I want to plant, because I want to see new things come up all season, all summer. So that was Sometimes Spring. I have another, I'm going to go back to that because there are some other poems in there, but I'm going to jump over to this one next. And this one is called Haiku, A Year of Seasons, and it's by Jon Muth. And haiku, this actually isn't spelled the way haiku is really spelled. Haiku is actually a Japanese form of poetry, and it is traditionally written in a certain way so that there are 3 lines of poem, or 3 lines, and each line consists of a different number of syllables. Syllables are the small sounds that make up a word. For example, if I say spring, that has 1 sound, spring. If I say daffodil, daffodil, can you hear? 3 sounds, daffodil. And so in haiku, traditionally a poem would be written with 3 lines. 1 line would be 5 syllables, or 5 little parts that make up the words. And then the second line would be 7 syllables, so there would be 7 different parts. And then the third line would be 5 again. Now this And actually, I'm going to share a book that was completely written in haiku with you one of these days before April ends. And it's a good story about a dog, and I think you'll really like it. But this one, haiku, that's not really how you spell it, but it's kind of cute. I think this little panda bear's name is Coo, and it's sort of a play on words, like Doug Florian's play on words with Handsprings. I better get to the rhyme. Now, the author, Jon Muth, wrote the whole book the whole book is written in poem, and it goes throughout the year, the 4 seasons of the year: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And he says in the beginning that he didn't follow the traditional 5-7-5 way. So the poem I'm going to share with you, each word is really only 1 syllable, so it's not quite, but it's still really neat. So maybe we can count the number of syllables in this rhyme after I share it with you. So the title is called Spring. I hope you can see the picture okay. See the little bear? He's laying on his back looking up at the clouds. Perfect thing to do today. Spring. New leaves. That's the first line. New grass, new sky. That's the second line. Spring. Maybe we should count those. So the first line was new leaves. New leaves. That's new leaves, 2. And then we have on line 2, we have new grass, new sky. That's 4 syllables. And then on our last line, we have spring. So we have 2, 4, 1. He kind of did it a little bit differently. I'm going to share another poem with you from Handsprings, and we'll talk a little bit about, we can count syllables in that one too. So I like that one though. That's so true. New leaves, new grass, new sky, spring. I like it. Very nice. All right. So let's go back to Handsprings, because I think there's at least 2 other poems in here that would be fun to share. Oh, yes. Okay. So the first one, another one is called Spring. And here, spring has different meanings. A lot of words have more than one meaning. So you can see there's a spring, one of those kinds of things. And the boy, it seems to be springing in the air. And we also have spring, which means the season that we're in. So this is spring. This is a 2-word poem. And every line of the poem has the word spring in it. The second word is some kind of an action that spring does. So this would be fun maybe for you guys to try this too. So here we go. Spring. These are all the things that spring can do. Spring sings. We had a poem about that yesterday. Spring flings. Spring stings. Ouch. Spring wings. Spring zings. Spring things. Spring shouts. Spring sprouts. Spring zooms. Spring storms. Spring warms. Spring flows. Spring grows. Spring. And I like how he put the ending, the title at the bottom of the poem. And it's it almost looks like the shape of a spring, doesn't it? The way he wrote the poem. This could be considered a shape poem. This could be considered a 2-word poem. But maybe it'll give you some ideas of something you might want to try. Maybe you want to pick the word flower. What does a flower do? So that would be fun to try. All right, I have one more, and then I'll let you go, and I'll get back to my planting. This one is called Seeds. It has the word seeds in it. S-E-E-D-S. Actually, we could write that in the air, couldn't we? S-E-E-D-S. Seeds. This is what I was working on today. We tilled the earth, took out the weeds. Then in the soil, planted seeds. Pumpkin, parsley, carrot, pea. Spring succeeds exceedingly. If you can spell, you would see the silliness of that. I'll show you something you could do. I liked what Doug Florian, how he made that little drawing of the word seeds. So I thought of something that you guys could do. And I have some examples. I started playing around with all my many different types of seeds. I had some lentils. They were colorful and orange. They were a good color. And I had these dark colored lentils, which you can't really see. They're actually black. They work nicely. I had some of these that were just like a mixed variety, all different kinds of beans. And I made some bean art. So I wanted to show you some things that you could try at home. And so here is the word seeds. So maybe if you can spell it yourself, you can take a pencil and write the word seeds. And then you can put some glue on there and sprinkle your beans across each letter. Or if you need help from a grown-up, they could write the letter for you, and you can then put your beans where you like them to go. That was one thing you could do. And this is another idea I tried. I made a scene. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I made a little garden with the seeds, the different rows of seeds growing. So for that, I just took a piece of brown paper and cut it in half and glued it to my blue background. Then I added a sun and some rain, because we need both, and a cloud. So that could be a fun thing to try. And then I just was having so much fun with this that I decided just to experiment and make something abstract. Except then the first thing I tried, I started to make a circle. And then I said, oh, I made a circle. Why don't I try making a square? So that was fun. And then I said, oh, okay. I made a circle, a square. Next I need a triangle. So different shapes you can play with. You can do anything you want. But just a little note to parents, shapes are really important in helping your children understand what the symbols of letters are when they start school and are learning to recognize letters of the alphabet. And so playing with shapes is a really good developmental skill to teach your children how to read. Playing with blocks is another great way to do the same thing. So I just thought that was kind of cool to know. All right, well, I do have a little song to sing about growing seeds. I usually sing this at story time, so maybe I'll do it for you guys. And it goes like this. Oh, the farmer plants the seeds. The farmer plants the seeds. Hi-ho, the merry-o, the farmer plants the seeds. Then you need rain. So the rain begins to fall. The rain begins to fall. Hi-ho, the merry-o, the rain begins to fall. Then the sun begins to shine. So the sun begins to shine. The sun begins to shine. Hi-ho, the merry-o, the sun begins to shine. And then the flowers begin to grow. And the flowers begin to grow. The flowers begin to grow. Hi-ho, the the merry, oh, the flowers begin to grow. And the flowers smile at us. The flowers smile at us. Hi ho, the merry, oh, the flowers smile at us. Well, now you have a little song to sing. My neighbor's dogs just came out. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Bubba. So I'm going to get back to working in my garden. And I'll see you all. I'll see you all tomorrow for another round of poetry. So thanks for joining me. Back to work.